back with the best I could do. This is the best I could do show right now because truly I've lost my mic and my board. So now I'm truly going to be working on this little guy. This is going to be my headset for now. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you can't. But I'm going to try to run this one through as I was going to do before, which would have been showing you how OSHA finds you. And again, this is, I'm just calling this one the best I got show. Yeah, truly. My USB mic is down, board's down with the good mic. So here we go. I got this one over here. If you have any questions, go ahead and give me some questions on the chat, and I will do my best to answer anything live for you for OSHA compliance. But I was actually going to show you how OSHA will find you, and the reason why I chose this topic is because I saw someone posting recently about how you don't have to worry about OSHA regulation because OSHA has so many people that it doesn't match the workload, which is true, but they were disregarding the fact that chances are you'll ever have an OSHA uh, inspection. And that's just not true. It's not entirely true. It's a misnomer in some cases. So I was going to show you guys how to delineate if you're one of the few where OSHA will see you more often than not, meaning regular visits, or one of the most common ways OSHA will find you, and then to those that will hardly ever get an OSHA mitigation. So that's really how I'm going to break this down. And if you do have any questions or comments or anything as you're listening, then go ahead and do that. I'll end up helping you out with this one as best as I can. And truly want to make sure that you guys could get a good understanding of this. So it's not my normal audio, so please bear with me. And as I will look down just because it's where my keyboard is. So I will look down from time to time. And I have to do this because I got the little lines over here for my readers. And if you do have your own OSHA questions, go ahead and hit me up with that one. So I'm going to share my screen real quick while I'm going to show you how OSHA will find you. All right, so hopefully you guys can see this. I'm looking back on the screen you're looking at, so it does look like it's there. There's several ways that OSHA can find you. So let me show you the easiest way that will be you self-reporting. So what I'm going to type in over here, and you can do this with me. So at your, oops, I spelled that wrong. OSHA record keeping. All right, so OSHA's record keeping right now, if you are not one of the few that has the injury and illnesses that are required to actually be recorded to OSHA, then this one will not be a way OSHA finds you. There are still some people that are exempt. So actually, I need to click on this so you guys can see it. I can't opening it up in another screen. So you should be looking at the list that I'm looking at right now. These people are exempt from OSHA record keeping partially, and the reason why they say partially exempt is because they still have to report hospitalizations, fatalities, any amputation, any loss of eye still needs to be reported, or if OSHA, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, requests that they start keeping record keeping data, injuries and illnesses for that year, then they have to report that stuff. So any of these industries over here, they can be exempt. So you just have to make sure if you're on this list. All right, it's a higher possibility that OSHA will not be regulating you simply because people on this list over here, they now would have to report injury and illnesses to OSHA. OSHA uses that data for actually going out there and doing inspection purposes. But if you are on that list, excuse me, if you're not on that list, and let's say you are on another list that I'll have to show you, and here's certain employers with highly hazardous jobs. Let's see, that one would be, here, I'll have to click through the whole thing to get you there. All right, so there are certain North America Industrial Classification System codes, NAICS codes, and these codes, if you are people that are in a high hazard job through these codes, then OSHA says you must keep records. So this is going to be the WHO over here. And if you have 20 to 249 employees in these certain industries that are high hazardous, so I'm going to get a little bit bigger for you so you can see this one. And again, if you have any comments or questions, go ahead and post that for me because I am looking back at the chat. So I'm going to go back and forth. But if you are one of these highly hazardous industries and you have 20 employees, so that's a real small company, up to 249 employees, OSHA says that you must have a 300A summary form submitted electronically to them yearly. This is data they're going to use to find out who needs to be inspected. So therefore, that claim that I heard that says OSHA doesn't regulate so many people, and so therefore, chances are you're never going to see OSHA. Okay, in some cases. But now, to go even deeper than that, these are some industries that OSHA says we need to keep up with these people, at least electronically. So when you do your 300A summary, that's just showing how many people were injured, and it's only numbers on that form. So that will show how many people were injured for that year. You see an increase, or OSHA sees an increase 3 years in a row, they can target you for being inspected. So regardless of your 20 people employee, you can still be targeted for OSHA inspection if they see an increase in your days away restricted transfer rates, your total recordable injury rates, TIRR, DART rates. They start going up 3 years in a row. You can now be targeted for OSHA. So that is another thing that is going to help OSHA find you. So that's another way. Let's go back, and that's the easiest way. It truly is the easiest way that OSHA can find you. Let me go over here real quick, and I'm going to show you why this misnomer is there. So all you would have to do is go under commonly used statistics, and this right here is what people've been pretty much thinking the law of averages. So I'll make that real big. If you could go on your computer, go ahead. Go do that too. But over here, they're looking at these numbers saying 1,850 inspectors responsible for the safety and health of 130 million workers employed, more than 8 million work sites, which says that for every one compliance officer for every 70,000 workers, large numbers. So what OSHA has done is they actually look for certain key factors to start picking out who to find. So number one, self-reporting. The second thing that OSHA is going to be using is going to be it's just easy. Scroll out this way. Hopefully you're following along with me. I'm going to show you the National Emphasis Program. So I just typed in NEP, National Emphasis Program. There's certain directives. Actually, I forgot I could do this. I'm going to paste this into the chat box for you. So hopefully this will show up wherever you're watching me right now. So check your chat box. And this might pop up for you in that chat box. If not, then you're going to go to the National Emphasis Program. So this is another way for OSHA to find you. So yes, they only have 1,800 inspectors, and that number is going to increase under the Biden-Harris administration. They already promised that they're going to start doing some more inspections. So it's going to be an emboldened OSHA coming 2021. So National Emphasis Program, if you do any of these activities or you have this type of machinery, depending on what it is, you will have a higher likelihood of OSHA finding you and doing an inspection. Combustible dust, hazardous machinery, lead, primary metal, process safety management, shipbuilding, silica, and excavation. Nationally speaking, OSHA says you do these tasks or you have this machinery or you're in these industries, we are going to pick on you quicker to inspect than, a t-shirt company. That's really what it boils down to. And then there's a regional local emphasis program. So now when you're on the regional side, you're going to look for your region. Get that a little bigger for you. So when you look for your region, I'm in Florida, so I'm region 4. So I would find my region, and then all of these things that I'm seeing here, activities or processes or industries, if I'm in region 4, I do any of these things that's listed on this emphasis list, I now have a higher likelihood of being inspected. So take a look at this one. Powered industrial trucks in region 4. Think about all the manufacturing, all the shipping, receiving, even powered industrial trucks in construction. So let's say I've got a powered industrial truck, which is a lull, was the common name for it. And then it's actually like a brand name, lull, just like people say facial tissues or Kleenex. So right over here, you would have construction, local emphasis, and I do have a powered industrial truck. So that's another local emphasis. So we doubled up on this. And then electrical hazards on the construction side, noise hazard on the construction side. Therefore, if I'm working in that field, chances are it's a higher likelihood that I'm going to have OSHA inspection. Landscaping in the region 4 area. You work in landscaping, you're going to go up that list. So poultry processing, those are some of those things that you would look for. So again, find your region. And once you find your region, then look at that regional list and see if you do any of these activities or your area is anything here. And then this is going to bump you up in that list of how OSHA is going to find you to do the inspection. So yes, they only have 1,800 inspectors, but now you can see how they're going to find you more. So the first thing we looked at was use self-reporting, meaning if you have OSHA recordable injury, you're self-reporting to OSHA through the electronic means of self-reporting 3 years in a row, you're going to get a higher likelihood of inspection. If you have a national emphasis program of the activity or something you do, that's the second way they're going to find you. Third way, if there's a local regional emphasis program. So those are 3 different ways. And then the other one, and there's more. Again, we're talking about how OSHA will find you. So I'm going to go to data and statistics. And under data and statistics, let's do something right here. First, let's find a company. Let's say I'm a welder. So I'm just going to use welding as if anybody has a company with the name welding in there, I'd imagine their activity is going to be welding. So all welding services Inc. right there. I'm going to grab this code. So best way for you to get your NAICS code, one of the most important codes for any safety program to know if you're thinking compliance, then you're going to end up asking your human resources might know, whoever submits the OSHA logs. If you don't, you'll know, but you need to know your codes, and there's probably going to be more than one. So I'm going to grab this code over here. We're going to go back. data and statistics. I'm going to search inspections by this code. I'm going to, let's do this a closer search. Let's say 2017 till right now. So this is saying out of the national basis of inspections for this code, these are all the people that do the activity of welding that gives them the NAICS code right over here. This is pretty much 1,500 companies, and now you can start seeing this. If you needed to, you could separate this by your state. So now you find your state, and then you could kind of look and see how much enforcement for this welding, people that do the welding activity that has this code are in my state. So now you could see for your state, for your activity, how high is the likelihood that OSHA is going to come and cite you. So here's one that's 4 violations OSHA found over there. Another one over here, 4 violations, 2, 3. This will also let you know when they do find you, are they going to cite you for something? So that's another way of doing that and finding out how OSHA's going to get you. I'm not saying this to say, OSHA's going to, they're out to get you. I'm just saying that when I heard that conversation, or it was something that someone very new, I don't know if they're new or not, but their outreach to people were just saying, I want you to focus on safety management system. Don't focus on OSHA coming and knocking on your door. And then they went a little further because, yes, absolutely, you should first and foremost focus on OSHA not knocking on your door, and you want to focus on doing the right thing. I believe that wholeheartedly. The only other thing that they went a little bit further on is then they started to say the likelihood of OSHA coming out to you is so low that you don't have to worry about OSHA. And now I'm telling you, it's not the case for most people because of these reasons that I'm just showing you now. So again, if you have any chats or anything you want me to go for specifically, or if you want me to go over anything during this conversation, go ahead and do it. I see if we've still got several people that are still watching, so go ahead, chat if you need to. I'll answer your specific OSHA questions, but I just want to make sure I go over this as well. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to show you another way that OSHA can find you. So before I do that, I want to let you know I am doing an OSHA compliance help masterclass next Monday and Tuesday virtually. So just go to sheldonprimus.com/events and you can sign up for the masterclass. And that's really helping you be ready because 2021 OSHA's back, and they're going to be back in some force. A couple of live streams back, I read you the letter coming from the Biden-Harris administration that they have out there saying that they are going to increase the number of inspections for OSHA, and they're going to have a joint group with OSHA, MSHA, and a few other agencies just to make sure that they're not missing things in the crack. So that's going to be important for you to have OSHA compliance. So I'm going to show you another area that you should be looking at. So I'm going to share my screen one more time with you. And again, if you have any questions or comments, put it in the chat box. I'll keep going back and forth from my screen on the chat box so that you'll be able to know. The other thing that you really have to worry about is complaints. Truly, the whistleblower complaint is another reason how OSHA will find you. So they made it very easy for online complaint system. And then also if someone is retaliated against for complaining, then you can have some really big legal issues on that. So OSHA is responsible for a good 80% of whistleblower cases throughout all industries, regardless of if it's safety and health whistleblower cases. It could be a whistleblower case on stock market fraud. OSHA is going to be the agency inspecting that one. So they're very robust on making sure that they follow up on complaints. So I think I still have that code. Let me go back to the data and statistics. I'm going to do inspections again. I'm going to pull up that same list that I did. So I'm going to paste this. Time frame's not really going to matter too much for this one, but what we're going to be looking at is this section over here. So the type of inspections by complaints. You can't do this per se to say type of inspections, but the first two, complaints. Planned is number 3. Number 4 is complaint. Then planned inspections, complaint. Referrals, complaints. So truly, I would say if you are thinking OSHA can't find you because you're so small and whatever you do, your activity isn't in a high level activity, if you have people that are going to complain that you're not treating the workers right, and you might be new into safety and you're trying to get your feet going and get into some of the safety system, but you're not moving fast enough for some people, okay, so that will be another way that they could find you, is by complaints. You would like to think that everyone will be happy. However, there might be some people that are leaving out the door and they don't want to wait for your new safety system. They're just done, and they might just call OSHA on the way out. So that might be another way that OSHA could find you. So I do contend with that individual that said, don't worry about OSHA inspection. They won't get you. Yeah, they can. It really depends on the motivation. It depends on the area. It depends on what you're doing. It depends on if it's a complaint. And now with COVID-19, those complaints have gone sky high. So now you will definitely start seeing more OSHA. And traditionally speaking, Republican administration versus Democratic administration, OSHA is more active in a Democratic administration versus Republican administration, and that's historical ever since 1971 when OSHA became an agency. So this is the cycle. The cycle is coming up where OSHA is going to be more active. So the last 4 years where they weren't, that's just part of that cycle. Every 4 years, if there's a Republican administration, or 8 years if it's a re-election thing, OSHA's not that active. But you flip it to a Democratic, they get more active. So this is my way of preparing you for that, all right? I do not see any questions. I do not see any comments right now. Thanks for bearing with me. I know I'm down to this now because my other headphones and my other mics or need repair. That's why I'm doing this one so late. But thanks for bearing with me. And I really want to just, I'll get my act together. I appreciate you guys hanging out. All right. Even any questions, you want to go ahead and get me at my LinkedIn. You can get me at Sheldon at sheldonprimus.com. Very easy. Sheldon at sheldonprimus.com. And I'll be able to help you with any OSHA compliance questions. Hopefully I'll see you in that masterclass. All right. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Go get 'em.